Myself, that's a bit better, a bit louder would be nice. Jill Clark on English commentary. I have my guest with me. He's going to do a sound test too. It is Paul van Rietvelde.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. This is Paul van Rietvelde reporting live with Jill Clark. Is that better?
Hello and a very warm welcome to the German city of Saarbrücken for semi-finals day at the Bitburger Grand Prix Gold, the 9th of 10 Grand Prix Gold events throughout 2014. Well, as I say, it is semi-finals day and we're starting with mixed doubles. After that, we'll have the first of the men's singles, and Pranoy, who won the last of the Grand Prix Gold events prior to this, the Indonesia event, he's up against Scott Evans, the number 11 seed from Ireland. After that, we'll have women's singles, and Carolina Marin, the world champion, playing her first tournament since winning that gold medal in Copenhagen. She's up against the number 4 seed, Sun Yu from China. Then the second of the men's singles, Tian Hao Wei, a former world junior champion, up against the two-time defending champion, Chao Tien Chen. And then the last of our semi-finals this afternoon will be men's doubles, and a second appearance of Michels Fuchs, this time with Schuttler. They're up against Rasmussen and Sorensen of Denmark, who were last year's beaten finalists in the men's doubles. Well, the players, as you can see, are already out on court for the first of our semi-finals, and of course the Germans are the defending champions, the number 2 seeds. Michels Fuchs and Birgit Michels won the title last year, beating Chris Adcock and Gabby White. I think she was already probably Mrs. Adcock by the time of this event. I think it was September last year that they got married, so of course they were Mr. and Mrs. Adcock by then. Well, of course, Fuchs and Michels have twice been in the final. They're trying to make it to a third final because they first reached the final of this Bitburger event back in 2010. Their opponents, a young Indonesian pair, Alfian Iko Prasetya and his partner and Misha Saufika, both very young, 20 and 21 years of age. They're only playing their 10th tournament together, the young Indonesians. In fact, this week on the world rankings, they shot up 6 places to number 32. That's a career high position for the Indonesians, and what a tournament they've had so far. I can tell you, in the very first round, they beat the number 3 seeds Dani Krisnanta and Vanessa Neo of Singapore. Needed 3 games to do it, though, and they had a tough battle in the second round as well against Christiansen and Gribek of Denmark. Yesterday against Schuttler and Goloszewski of Germany, well, it was very much more comfortable. 2 straight games, just 23 minutes for that match. So the young Indonesians, well, they've had a good year, I have to say, their first year together. Been in 3 finals from their previous 9 tournaments played. That's a pretty good start, but this, I think, against the defending champions, will really test the young Indonesians. Well, I'm Jill Clark, and I'm delighted to say that sitting alongside me, I have Paul van Rietvelde of Scotland, part of the GB squads. And of course, I know you specialise very much in doubles, mainly men's doubles, but of course, for the young Indonesians, Paul, this is a tall order when you're playing against defending champions. And of course, the home favourites, the crowd will be with this pair. It's tough for them.
It certainly is, Jill. They face a lot of obstacles, but maybe that'll work for them. They like to play a creative style, and they don't like to hold back. So maybe this is their time to go forward into the final. As you say, they've had a good tournament so far, and they're young and they just want to get out there and play, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there is Saufika, 21 years of age, born in Cirebon in West Java.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Fuchs, Michels in Germany.
So the introductions from our umpire. So the Indonesians unseeded against the number 2 seeds, the defending champions, Michels Fuchs and Birgit Michels. This young Indonesian pair, I have to say, I watched them last week at the French Superseries event where they reached the second round, lost out to the Olympic silver medalist Shichen Marjin. But I have to say, watching them play, I was very impressed indeed. And Prasetya, well, as a former world junior champion in the mixed doubles, won that title in Taipei in 2011. We certainly know he's got talent.
Definitely, a lot of upcoming Indonesians now, and they'll be taking some advice off the top players like Natsir and Ahmed, and they'll be working on that model and adding their own bits and bobs in there. You can see how dynamic they are from the start.
Oh, that's nicely played by Michels Fuchs, 32-year-old. The Germans have been playing well, though, this year, haven't they, Paul? 2 Super Series tournament finals in a 3-week period, first of all in Japan and then in Australia. Still looking for their first Super Series title, but if you're getting to the latter stages of Super Series events, you're a world-class pair.
Yeah, knocking at the door all the time, very consistent and airtight in their game, really. They've been playing together for a long time and they both understand the game very well, understand each other, which I think could work massively in their favour against their young opponents.
course, they have the advantage of the home fans supporting them, but I'm just wondering about the burden of expectation when you're defending champion, when everybody's expecting you to win, you're seeded to reach at least the final, and is that difficult for you as players, coping with that sort of pressure?
I think it is. There's always that, the weight of expectation, but I can tell you one man that is not scared of that is Michael Fuchs, especially in his home country. He likes to rile the crowd up. You'll see it from the very start, and he'll get the backing of the crowd all the way through. As you say, he's been in this position many times, so I think he'll be able to cope with that.
He's a very intelligent man, I know that, Michels Fuchs. Doing a PhD at the moment. Sports science, and sleep and recovery and sleep deprivation. Mind you, you're a bit of an intellectual sort of...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I came on this.
Aren't you doing something in forensic science?
I do a criminology degree, yeah. It's nice to have that aside from the badminton.
It's good judgment. What are the strengths then of this German pair? I mean, to me, they're very much a traditional style of mixed doubles where they're trying to get Michels forward to the net. Her role, she's very good as a front court player. And, of course, Fuchs is you can see he's a very strong man and using his strength from the back of the court. Yeah. Is that their strength? Do you have to try and get them out of that formation? What's the way to play them?
Yeah, I think they have got their tactics down to a T and they know their A game. They have a lot of set plays that they're used to the Indonesians might struggle with. Bar gets quite aggressive when she needs to be, knows where to be and when to be, and Fuchs is very good at playing her in at the net, so he'll work and then hit these angles and be very precise. As you say, he's more of a tactician, so he'll work the rally in a way that will allow Michels to come into the net and dictate. Whereas the Indonesians, I suggest they will have a few set plays, but are a bit more creative and instinctual in what they're doing.
And they can't possibly have the sort of understanding between them, the Indonesians that is, as their opponents. I mean, this is only their 10th tournament together, so of course there will be that slight hesitation maybe as to who's going to take which shot. Definitely.
I think there's advantages and disadvantages to that though, because if you're doing analysis, which Germans will be doing on the Indonesians before this, they might not be able to predict what they're going to do as much, but then when it gets tight, I suggest that the Germans are probably in a favourable position because they've got those game plans to refer back to that they've been working on for years and years.
Well, that racket of Michels is no more. Clash of rackets, there we are. You see, it's the curse of the commentator.
Definitely.
We were talking about their understanding.
Exactly, yeah.
Clash of rackets and her racket disintegrates.
Indonesians will be paying us to talk more about the Germans.
4-10 opening game. Yeah, it's a good smash. Good smash from Prasetya. Yeah. Not huge elevation on the jump smash, but good accurate play. Oh dear me, fault called. Struck above the waist, says our service judge, and it means that the defending champions have the advantage at the mid-game interval. A 6-point advantage to be precise. 11-5 after just 6 minutes of play. Now that's very interesting, isn't it? Isn't that Ingo Kundavata,
Yes, that is.
former partner of Michels Fuchs?
Short one, 20 seconds. Short one, 20 seconds.
He's gone very quickly from the playing role into the coaching role.
Yeah, sometimes they try and integrate them into a kind of shadowing position so that they learn from the coaches and they work alongside the coaches that are already in position so that they can then transfer on to becoming coaches themselves independently. And obviously he'll be aware of how to talk to Fuchs when he's on court and the best way to communicate with him.
That's good pressure. That's what you were talking about with Michels and her pressure from the front of the court.
It's certainly worrying when you're playing mixed doubles. I know when the girl's playing well, because as a man playing against mixed doubles combination, you're always told to try and pick on the girl if you can. So when she's playing well, it's a bit disconcerting.
It's not very gentlemanly of you.
It's not very gentlemanly of me, but that's what I got told. Nice to them off court though, so it's fine.
Oh, that's nice. Good rally. Oh. Oh! Well, it was going well wide and Michels just couldn't get out of the way. Shuttle hitting her. My goodness me.
It's not when you practice in training.
Look, she's way out of the court. Now, this is a good little spell by the Indonesians. Oh, that's well taken. A big part, Paul, I think, of mixed doubles is the man closing down that mid-court area,
Definitely.
just as Fuchs did on that occasion. Look at that. Magnificent.
You see him again dictating from the mid-court all the time. So he's putting Bitburger in a very good position and, again, not throwing himself off balance too much.
OK, so the obvious question is, how do you stop him doing that? Do you push him deep into the back corners, or...?
Well, this is why I play men's doubles. I try and avoid this. I think the Indonesians maybe have to be a bit more creative just now and get him into the deep corners and try and throw them off kilter a bit. Just now it seems a bit restricted, their game, and Fuchs is being allowed to dictate.
Yeah, now I can see what Saufika was trying to do there. She was trying to get the shuttle to the back of the court.
Yeah.
But I think what we're probably saying, it needs to be flatter. It needs to be much faster into those back corners.
They need to try and get him off balance a bit more. They're allowing him to get underneath the shuttle and then use his placement to get back in the rally.
Oh, it's a good return of serve. Very good return of serve from Prasetya.
He's not very gentlemanly either, is he? Keeps hitting there. Oh, it's Fuchs, sorry. He's just been told to pick on both of them. I've not seen these two play before, but if Saufika's like anything like Natsia, then they're in for a nice entertaining match.
Yeah.
I say they've got a lot of good role models in Indonesia.
Yeah, look at that jump smash. Yeah, and I think what's happened in Indonesia in recent years, very recent years, as we're looking at one of the players I'm about to mention is former great players and Olympic medalists, World Championship medalists, have now been all brought back to Indonesia. Some of them were working abroad and are now working with the national squad. And the fact that all these youngsters are listening to people in the coaching environment, in the training environment, who have won these major medals, it does have a big impact, doesn't it?
Definitely. If you're going into training each day knowing that you're getting coached off somebody who's been there and done that, then all their advice has got a lot more value to it. Sometimes people have great minds that haven't played, and that's certainly a great attribute, but then you've also got somebody who's played the game and understands how you feel on court.
Yeah. Yeah, they really have taken the game to their opponents, the German pair, and all credit to them for doing so.
A smart flick again by Fuchs.
Oh, well, it was a nice idea, changing up the angle of the low serve.
There we go.
Yeah, she is brilliant, isn't she, at the front court area.
That's one of our best strengths, I think, just reading the game.
Yeah.
You don't have to move too much, so you don't have to be too skillful if you can read the game like that.
So game point opportunities for the defending champions. Yeah, good change of pace too from Fuchs. Oh, look at those racket skills, my goodness me. And then makes an error. And therefore the opening game to the defending champions, Michels Fuchs and Michels. 21-12 in 14 minutes. This is the final rally. Look at that beautiful backhand. And then trying to be a little bit too cute with the cross court. I have to admit it was a nice idea, but that one really got the Germans out of position. But the Indonesians couldn't capitalise. That one there, just guiding it into the open space. And then a little too casual on the second. So the opening game to the defending champions, 21-12 in 14 minutes. Well, both sets of coaches really trying to keep their charges fully focused. Two courts in action, as you can see here on semi-finals day. Cantono. The German coach is looking pretty pleased, and that's fully understandable. Trying to get to their third Bitburger Grand Prix Gold tournament final. If you'd been coaching the Indonesians, what would you have advised? Try and get Saufika forward to the net a little bit more to really challenge Michels?
Yeah, I think they have to to try and get each other involved a bit more. They seem to be playing a bit too separately and allowing the Germans to dictate. I think, for one, the Prasetya needs to be a bit more creative and use his racket skills to push Fuchs and Michels off balance and allow Saufika to come in.
Oh,
there we go.
Yeah. Well, he's just upped his pace, hasn't he? Pace of movement.
Yeah.
Prasetya.
We've seen from the last game there, when he takes things early, then he can get in a good position, but it's about him taking it early, getting in a good position, and then capitalising on it.
Yeah. Well, he took it early at the back of the court there and then got himself in a good position to pounce forward. That's nice. And immediately looking for that half-court area. That's nice play by the Indonesians. Oh, good rally. Real determination from Fuchs at the front of the court. Look at this, he's really hunting the shuttle and then having to launch himself forward. That's what I call commitment.
That'll come in useful for his men's doubles later as well.
Yeah. Of course, he's fifth match on as well. His men's doubles semi-final with Johannes Schottler.
You see when the Indonesians start to put a bit too much pace in from below net height, allows Fuchs to have the whole court open up to him. But when they've been taking it early and guiding it down, giving them not too much pace, it's been working well for them, but I think they feel that when it's below net height, they just want to hit through. They've got that strength in their forehand that they have a propensity just to hit hard all the time, but if they're taking it late, then it's only going to go up to them.
Yeah.
Same again there.
Yeah. Well, this second game has got a whole different feel to it. Yeah, it would be understandable that the Indonesians, perhaps in the opening game, were a little bit nervous. Two titles already this year for this young Indonesian pair. The Vietnam International and the New Zealand Grand Prix event also reached the final of the Chinese Taipei Grand Prix Gold events. One of the 10 Grand Prix Gold events this year. Oh, that was a very, very loose serve. Well, the fans here really trying to get behind the home players. They can sense that this is a very, very important passage of play. Oh, that's well worked. Now that is what you were alluding to earlier, Paul, isn't it? About how the Germans can work for each other, setting up the player at the front of the court, whereas the Indonesians don't do that often enough yet.
No, I don't think so. The Germans have got a very structured game to them, so when they're in precarious circumstances like this, they can revert to that, and they understand what each other are going to do. So it's nice for them to have that confidence that they can get to the positions that they need to be in. And this is the Indonesians trying to change it up a bit, taking the time changing the shuttle.
Oh, yes. She wasn't intimidated there, Saufika. There was that slight hesitation you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Lucky to get away with that one.
Well, a super return of serve from Michels Fuchs.
Very intelligent and that he knows when to change things up. He's had the experience, understands when things are getting a bit too samey, a bit too tedious, and knows when to change it up. Here we go into the mid-game interval.
Yeah, with a 2-point advantage. Yeah, the look of the net cord deflecting the shuttle. So what do you do then if you're a player in a situation like this? You're youngsters, you're a game down, you're down in the second game at the mid-game interval. Do you try changing your tactics and doing something completely different just to try and mix it up a bit, or do you stick to the game plan? What would you do?
Well, I think we can see from the start of that game that when they were being a bit more sensible and controlled in what they're doing, but moving fast, then they were quite effective. So I think having that as a base and then being creative when they needed to be.
So am I guessing that you're quite conservative then, that you wouldn't just go out there and do something completely different?
I'm not too sure. When I was younger, when I was younger, I would tend to do that. But against opponents like this, I think they'll catch on to that very quickly. So
yeah,
it's having a bit of both. It's having that structure and then being able to lift out or to be creative at the right times.
Yeah, exactly. No, I understand that completely.
These Indonesians have got the capability of doing weird and wonderful things all the time, but it's getting that balance.
Service fault calls. Second time that Saufika has been called for striking the shuttle above the waist. Oof, yeah, I can see that.
Been very strict this tournament with service faults.
Well,
this one was
yeah. I think that we've gone through a phase in badminton where perhaps the service judges haven't been strict enough.
I would agree in some situations, yes.
Back level, that error on the return of serve. And it's 12-all in this second game. It's a good rally. It's a very good rally and well worked by the Indonesians. Yeah, that was the one that did the damage. So this is a crucial few points coming up right now.
This is maybe when the Germans will enforce the set plays.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did awfully well there, did Michels Fuchs, to find that acute angle across court. So once again, back level. Oh, my goodness, he was quick onto that. Prasetya absolutely pouncing on the mid-court shot. Look at this. Yeah, almost knocking Fuchs off balance. Has got a different feel about it now, hasn't it?
Definitely. Indonesians seem to be dictating a lot more now. Just taking it early, guiding it down then.
Oh, good return of serve. This is the thing about experienced players, isn't it? You just get the sense that, you know, I felt the Indonesians were just really beginning to make inroads and putting their opponents under pressure. And under a pressure situation, they produce a winner like that.
But as a first 4 shots now, Fuchs and Michels will know how to change it up.
Not the best of serves, was it? There's me singing their praises.
First,
yeah. Good in pressure situations and a wonderful serve.
Just touch and go now. Oh.
Nice.
I think if Birgit can enforce what she does best now, then they can take the next few points. If she serves well and
Seemed to rush that flick serve. It was a good serve, but just seemed to rush it. Oh, it's gone long. Well, now we're just 3 points away from a possible third and deciding game. good, isn't it? One straight, then the second one cross.
Yeah, these little turns, so he's not too predictable at the end.
17-18. Oh, my goodness. Well, both the Germans are using the flick serve a lot, and I think they're overdoing it now.
Yeah, I think they both served 2 loose ones when they went short, and I think they've just completely avoided using the short serve now, but that makes the flick serve a lot more innocuous.
No serve is short. My goodness me, that couldn't have been short by much. Goodness.
And that's why the flick serve for me.
Yeah. I thought recently, actually, she's lost a bit of confidence on that serve. But here we are, game point opportunities for the Indonesians to send this to a third. And they convert on their first opportunity. 21-18.
Saufika, 21-18.
Umpire confirms that it is one a game apiece. 33 minutes into the match. Well, as we look at that final point again, that sent this mixed doubles semi-final to a third and deciding game. Sadly, we have to say a goodbye to Paul van Rietvelde, because you have to go catch an aeroplane, get back to training and prepare for your next event. But
Yes, I'll let these players do the work now. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure having you, and I hope you'll come and join us again sometime.
I shall indeed. I shall indeed. Thank you very much.
Als erstes Kampf annehmen von Anfang an. Schnelle Beine. So schnell ist gut. So schnell ihr euch wohlfühlt, versucht ihr da das Tempo mit den Schlägen anzusteuern, trotz der schnellen Beine.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
So here we go, third and
Final game.
deciding game.
Love all.
The defending champions, the number 2 seeds, the home favourites, Fuchs and Birgit Michels. Well, they looked so comfortable in the opening game, which they took 21-12. But all of a sudden, the youngsters from Indonesia, Prasetya and Saufika, really have played themselves back into this match. Nice, good attacking play by the youngsters. There, look at the movement of the shuttle. That's very, very good to see. That's well taken. Good commitment from Michels Fuchs. Well, we saw him once in the second game absolutely launch himself towards the net.
1-3.
Similar again in this rally. Desperation defence. Look how he's looking to go forward already. Defensive position, then in he goes. Great anticipation. My goodness me, the body language of the Indonesians now in comparison to the opening game. Huge contrast. Look at that nice touch at the net from Saufika. And the Germans are in trouble.
5-1.
I said a little earlier I was impressed by the young Indonesians when I watched them last week at the French Superseries event. Well, it's all running away from the defending champions a little too easily at the moment. It's a good return of serve. Just enough pace on the shuttle to make it very, very awkward for Saufika. This is where the Germans have got to use their experience. Oh, good defense. Unbelievable. Well, the Germans were under so much pressure for so long. My goodness me, desperation defence. Look at that. Well, that's the sort of rally that can really change the momentum of a match. Oh, well taken. My goodness me. And all of a sudden, the noise from the fans have gone up a couple of decibels. Absolutely loving that, and rightly so. No, it's gone wide. Good pressure on the return of serve. She needs to remember to keep her serve low enough. She's already had a couple of false serves called. There. Nice one. Oh, my first impression was that that was a bit of a mishit from Michels. Whatever it was very effective.
5-7. Yes! Come on!
Yeah, well, what a contrast. That's a super serve, absolutely skimming the net. In fact, I think Saufika was in two minds as to whether to leave it or not. And they're back level. 5 points adrift at one stage. 1-6 down in this deciding game. How quickly it all can change. And my goodness, when you're on a high, then even the luck's with you. Ah, it's a good backhand. Really taking her time. Seven of the last 9 points going to the Germans. That's what I call a shift in momentum. Oh, does rush that serve. Ah, it's well taken. Really a stunned silence from the crowd. Well, surprised the umpire is allowing Michels Fuchs to tail down at this point. Is potentially just a couple of points away from a change of ends, the mid-game interval in the deciding game. Yeah, well, that was very nice of Prasetya. I just noticed that Fuchs had something attached to his shoe. And that's his favourite return of serve, Fuchs. And really, I think the Indonesians need to start looking for that. That's very, very nice play. Good smash from Prasetya. Channel attack. Yeah, that was clever. That's what we were talking about a little bit earlier. Try and play deep into the back corners, stop Michels Fuchs coming forward to the net. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he touched it, didn't he? Well, it wasn't called by the umpire, but justice in that the Indonesians won the point anyway. So the Indonesians have the advantage at the change of ends. I think Fuchs touches this. Yeah. Yeah, well, he's not pleased with himself. I think we're safe to say that. So the Indonesians just 1 point advantage in this deciding game. I think coach is telling them to play deep into those back corners. Yeah, a little hold and push. I'm sure that's what he's saying. So 11-10 deciding game. A little dangerous from Prasetya. Playing that across court. This one. Yeah, you can't afford to do that. Straight and deep into the forehand corner of the Germans perhaps would have been a better option. Yeah, into the lead. She's got to sort out her serve. Michels seems to have lost confidence on the low serve and just rushes that flick, doesn't get herself in position, isn't really sure of what she's expecting as a reply. Now the lead changes hands once again. Well taken. But where was the return of serve? Every time Fuchs is just guiding it down his opponent's forehand side to the mid-court area. Surely the Indonesians have got to start looking for that. That's well taken. Kindervater on the left is looking a little anxious right now. Oh, that's gone wide. Didn't need to be that tight to the line. A big gap across court. Well, he made the error on the return of serve, but where was he aiming it again? Needs to vary that, the German. It's a run of 3 straight points at this stage of the match. Ah, that is remarkable play from Saufika. Look at that defence. Then off balance, still managed to get away the smash. Oh, brilliant. Make that 5 straight points. 13 all to 18-13 in favour of the Indonesian youngsters. Wow, the defending champions are handed a lifeline. Oh, well, the Indonesians celebrate their good fortune, helped by the net cords. You create your own luck. Look, he's taking it early, addressing the shuttle nicely. Look at that. Nigh on perfection. Well, it's now or never for the Germans, the defending champions. Dear me. Yeah, the frustration boiling over from Michels Fuchs, because now there are 5 match point opportunities. And first time of asking, and the unseeded youngsters from Indonesia, Alfian Iko Prasetya and Anisha Saufika, have defeated last year's champions and the number 2 seeds, Michels Fuchs and Birgit Michels. 3 games, just 6 minutes shy of the hour mark. 12-21, 21-18, 21-15 in the deciding game.
12-21, 21-18, 21-15.
So disappointments for the home fans, but my goodness me, what a superb performance by Prasetya and Saufika. Once again, confirmation of that score. 12-21, 21-18, 21-15 in 54 minutes of play. The disappointment very obvious for last year's champions, and the delight for the young Indonesians. A second final at Grand Prix Gold events this year, to go with the final that they reached in Taipei. Well, who knows? Tomorrow they may end up as champions. So after that thrilling mixed doubles, we turn our attention now to men's singles. We've got both men's singles semi-finals this afternoon, but the first of them is Pranoy of India, the number 7 seed, up against Scott Evans of Ireland, the number 11 seed. The men's singles draw, 7 different nations represented by quarter-final stage, and what a healthy situation that is. Semi-finals, 4 different nations, the 4 players all coming from different countries, and that really is wonderful to see. So the first player emerging onto court, Hasina Sunil Pranoy of India. There he is, the 22-year-old born in Kerala in the south of India. Number 7 seed here. And his opponent, Scott Evans, the number 11 seed. In fact, it's the 5th time that Scott Evans has been seeded at the Bitburger Grand Prix Gold event. In fact, this is his 9th appearance. He's been a big supporter of this tournament. 9th appearance, 8th consecutive appearance. In the last 2 years, he reached the quarter-final. So this, for Scott Evans, is a first, a semi-final here in Saarbrücken. So this will be the second meeting between these two players. The first time they met was 3 years ago. So I'm not quite sure how much we can read into that, but for the record, Pranoy won 3 years ago in 3 games. But I have to say, I think the Indian player has improved considerably. In fact, I think he's made a big breakthrough earlier this year because he won his first ever title, which was the last Grand Prix Gold event prior to this, Bitburger. And of course, the event prior to this on the Grand Prix Gold circuit was in Indonesia, in Palembang. So for him to win his first career title, that was a massive step forward to him. And I had the pleasure of talking to him at the tournament hotel earlier today, and he was telling me how excited he was about his form, and he was even pleased with the way he played last week, and so he should in Paris. Although he lost in the first round, he lost out to former world junior champion Kenta Momoto in 3 games, and then Momoto went all the way through to the semi-final. So he was saying to me, you know, it's about time that I started doing well regularly in these sort of tournaments. Well, doing well, he certainly is. He's had a wonderful performance here this week, beat the number 9 seed in the 3rd round, Wong Wei Ki of Hong Kong, and had a tremendous match yesterday against Emil Holst of Denmark. 30-28 in the deciding game, Pranoy won. That was 1 hour and 17 minutes. Had to save 3 match points and only won on his 7th match point opportunity. So to his opponent, Scott Evans from Ireland, 27 years of age, was born in Dublin, but now lives in Copenhagen, moved to Copenhagen in 2005. So for Scott Evans, 2 finals so far this year, the Brazil International, and was beaten finalist at the Bulgarian International as well. In fact, he too played very well last week in Paris at the French Superseries event. And he, like his opponent, went 3 games against a much higher ranked player. Hu Yun of Hong Kong was who Scott Evans went the full distance with a week ago. And surprising to me as we look at our umpire,